Hello, good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to New Earth Ghana, Health Watch Thursday. I'm your host for tonight, Shannon from Plant Kingdom. So tonight we are going to make a pumpkin soup that is full of greens. So it's full of vitamins, nutrients, anti-inflammatory, antioxidative properties, all of that. So let's get started with this big part. You can hear okay? And I left the onions big because I want to taste them when it's in the soup. Because the soup will make everything pretty like pureed. So I want to actually like chew on some things. So I like to chew on onions and vegetables and things like that. So, ooh, do you smell it? Smells good already. And that's just onions. I'm going to chop up this tomato here.
Take the skin off the tomatoes?
Just whatever parts don't look good. Because you know, here in Ghana, like, I don't know what your experience has been with the produce, but there's like almost always something inside. So whenever I see stuff that just doesn't look wonderful, I just cut it just to make sure there are no creatures in there, you know?
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't peel the skin off the tomatoes. I just leave them whole. Just the blemishes. Like alaguntugui, the soursop. I don't even buy it anymore. I can't. I've thrown so many away. The amount of worms inside. So I just stop. I think unless you're picking it from your own tree, I don't know. It seems like.
Unless you open it there as well so that you can say, nope.
But I'll tell the market ladies that I don't want to buy it because I know it always has stuff inside. And they're like, oh no, it doesn't have anything. And I'm like, I get home and I've been disappointed too many times, so I'm done with that one. Unless it's from somebody's house. Let me see what this is. Ooh, that looks nice. So I just want the onions to soften, which they basically already are. Oh, that guy didn't get cut up. Okay. And then let's put in the garlic. Oh, let me cut it a little bit smaller because that might be a little bit intimidating. You guys can hear me okay, right? Okay. I know I talk under my breath a lot. That got it. Okay. And I'm gonna put the hot peppers in there too, just because you guys like heat, right? Heat is okay. Because I love heat, so. Put that in there now just to bring out the heat. And I don't cut the pepper up small because I'm going to put it in the blender anyway, and I want to find them. And if I cut it up small, I won't be able to find them so easily. especially once tomatoes go in there. I'm ready to eat already. Okay, now we're gonna go in with some of our seeds. So I have cumin seed here, which I think cumin and pumpkin just work really well together. Cumin seed is in a lot of like Middle Eastern cooking. And mustard seed, which is used a lot in Indian cooking. And these are kind of like, I've been using these two a lot lately as my base for everything, because I've been doing a lot of soups, because now that it's so cold, well, you guys probably don't think that Ghana is cold, but Ghana is cold, especially when you're on the mountaintop where I live now. And then this is the local, one of the local spices, so I'm gonna just put like 2 or 3 of these in there. How do you say this? What's the name? Oh, alligator. Alligator something. Alligator pepper? Down low. But yeah, it's been really cold in Ghana. I live in a Brie area, and yesterday I saw the sun for the first time, like fully, in probably like a month. And then I have some dried rosemary here that can go in there. And so that. Fennel seeds, which I talked about fennel last time. So you guys can check out the last video to hear about the health benefits of fennel. So our pot already got a lot of flavor going on in there. And next I'll put the pumpkin. So you just want everybody to get to know each other and be friends. So while they're getting introduced to each other, and then I'm actually not sure what this mix is. I think it's some cinnamon with nutmeg and clove. But I made it a long time ago and I don't really remember what I put in there, but it's good. So put some of that in there too. And now the pumpkin. So pumpkin soup is a pretty popular type of soup in Jamaican cooking, but this isn't really Jamaican style. This is like Jamaican influence, but like with Shannon's twist. And the pumpkins that I find here in Ghana, they're not as vibrant as the ones we use to make our soup in Jamaica. So it doesn't have that deep yellow color as I would normally like, but it gets the job done. So you gotta make do with what you got. We use the local food in our meals, so you just make adjustments. It doesn't have to be exactly how you used to. It can just be like an updated version. So I just want the pumpkin to soften, and then once it gets soft, I'll put it in the blender, maybe like half of it, so that it will thicken the soup. You guys see that, right? Don't it look good? Like I would eat it right now, especially since I'm hungry. Don't it? Oh, they're not seeing? There's no camera here yet? It's not working? Do you want me to show the pot? Okay. Okay. And I'm not putting any water yet because I want caramelization action. So that will bring out like the sweetness in the pumpkin and the onions and everything else that's in the pot. So I don't want to interrupt that process yet. Water will come at the end after everybody has like mingled together and flavors have infused and all that jazz. So lately I've been consuming the pumpkin seed just straight out of the pumpkin like this too. Like I don't even take it out the shell or anything just because that's just too many steps. And I figure more fiber. But pumpkin seeds are great for your health, especially women. So there's something called seed cycling, which is when you eat different types of seeds at different times of the month. Are you familiar with this? So it's pumpkin seed, hemp seed, flax seed, and I want to say sesame. Google seed cycling. And so when you're like the first 2 weeks of your period, you would eat 2 seeds, and then the last 2 weeks of your period, you would eat the other 2 seeds. And it's basically like supposed to help with like women's health and reproduction and your cycle and all that stuff. So lately I've just been putting the seeds in the pot, in the outer shell and everything, and just eat it like that. So even if you didn't want to make soup, like you could just make something like this as just sauteed vegetables, and this could be like a great side with your other dishes. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are definitely going in here. But not yet though. I want to take out the pumpkin first and blend it. No, I'm not doing all of that. I don't like to remove too much of the food because like every part of it has like nutrients and value, right? So when it comes to like sieving things or using like cheesecloth and stuff like that, I really don't do it much. One, it's another step and I'm a lazy chef. And two, I just feel like the pulp and stuff like that has a lot of fiber. So people keep asking vegans, like, where do you get your protein? And I don't think we have a protein problem globally. We have a fiber problem. People are backed up and constipated. So we need to get things moving along. And we can use as much fiber as possible, in my opinion. So I just leave everything in there. Even like when I'm making juices and stuff, like I'll just do smoothies and I don't really strain anything just because I'm like, the fiber will help me poop, so might as well leave it in there. Let me just finish cutting up my tomato. And then the pumpkin is going in the blender next. Ooh, that smell is delicious. Anyone in Ghana who's watching, I'll be doing cooking like dinners at my house, private, small, intimate dinners. So if you're in the Ghana area and you want to get some more food, just follow Plant Kingdom on Instagram. That's plantkingdom.co. And you'll be invited to stop in my house and get some real home cooking. All right. Oh, it'll be like appetizer, entree, and then dessert. Oh, and drink. Either appetizer and drink or both. I don't know. I'm still working it out. So let me just put the pumpkin and the peppers in here. I don't think it'll be too spicy because I'm also putting tomatoes, and tomatoes neutralize heat. So But I'm not putting all of it though, just like some. And the local alligator pepper, whatever it's called, I don't remember. Okay, that's good. So as I'm preparing to blend that, I'm gonna add some more things in the pot, like these root vegetables, so carrots, potato. The potato is gonna give it a nice like sweet flavor. This is local yam, and this one is some type of lentil, or what do they call it? I don't remember the name, but it's some form of lentils. What do they call this one? And I just add all of these things just to like give the soup some body, so that we're like chewing on some stuff. And next, let me put some curry powder. I ran out of my curry seasoning because I'm cooking like all the time. So I'll just use the curry powder. You can't see anything. Oh, that's too much. What am I looking for? Salt. So I'll just put a little bit of salt right now to start, but I'll taste along the way and see where that needs to go. Oh, this is frozen. Smell. And the lentils, I soaked it overnight because I just find that my body is just very, very sensitive, and I need to basically soak everything, like all my grains, rice, lentils, beans. I need to soak everything overnight because when you soak things overnight, it makes it easier for them to digest. Yeah, so I just soak everything because, yeah, my body is just too sensitive. It reacts to everything. Even yesterday, I had a eczema breakout, which you can't see it because I nipped it in the bud. But I haven't had a flare-up with eczema for about a year now. So I just put the coconut in there, coconut meats. And I'm going to put a little bit of cashew in there. And this is just going to make the soup like extra creamy. And let me get some water. Yeah, the cashews were soaked overnight too. Yeah, so even nuts I soak, and I'm even now soaking seeds. So recently, like I did soak some sesame seed. And yeah, I just have to soak everything because my body is just like... So pay attention to your body. See what it wants and how it reacts to things, and then make adjustments accordingly. So now we're about to get loud up in here. It's on, everything ready. Okay, not bad actually. So this is like the base of the soup, but really the star of the soup is all the greens that's about to go in here. I try to have as much greens as I can, which is still not plenty, but greens are like your repairing food. So I have some bitter leaf, and these are cut up small. Like I have the whole leaves here to show you guys. This one is the garden egg leaf, and this is celery, which looks a lot like parsley. Let me show you. I just learned the difference yesterday. So the celery leaf is kind of big, and you see like the top, well, I don't know if you guys can see it because the camera, but this is the parsley. They're a little bit smaller, and oh, there's a bug on there. See what I mean? But you want bugs on your food because then that means that it's organic. So I used to be like scared of the bugs when they're in the food, but now I'm like, at least I know it wasn't sprayed with stuff. So yeah, like the leaves are just different, see? So those are in there. Then I've got a little bit of mint. This is bitter leaf. And this is comfrey. And is there, oh, this one, the Ghana name is Boko Boko. I don't know what it is everywhere else because I've never seen it until I came to Ghana. But that's called Boko Boko. And then I also have some moringa, a little bit of fennel, not much, but, and then I've got some moringa here, which is kind of hard to see because it's small. And yeah, that's it. So the leaves have tons of health benefits. Like the bitter leaf, for example, is great for like malaria, infection. Bitter greens are even good for like curing STDs or helping to manage STDs, things like that. Let me get some water in here just to get that caramelization off of the bottom of the pot and into the liquid. So people would use like maybe like a white wine vinegar or something like that. But you can just use water. I actually don't really cook with like white wine vinegar much. A little bit more water for deglazing. Oh, I'll need a spoon. This still isn't up here. It smells like curry chicken. But see, you can have the same flavors as when you used to eat meats without the meats, because the flavors all come from the vegetables. Like seasoning is vegetable. So your onion, garlic, scallion, bell pepper, rosemary, thyme, cilantro, basil, those are all vegetables, and those are the things that provide the flavor in your food. So you don't have to have the meat because you can still have the same flavor. And then when you want to replicate meat flavor or like meat texture, mushrooms. My fave. I love mushrooms. No, mushrooms. Why would I do soya when I have mushrooms? You know, I actually just had tofu, like, I think, yeah, for the first time yesterday.
They're saying eggplant can also be switched up with meat as well.
Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you. I got sous chefs in the house. And I'm just breaking this up a little bit and dropping them bad boys in there. I literally go through a kilo of mushrooms like every 2 weeks.
You grow them yourself?
No, because I did buy a kit when I first came here because I found a guy in Osu who I need to drop his information in the description. But I eat them too much to grow it. Like it's just not practical. Like what I'm getting from growing is only going to give me like 1 day's worth of food, and I need it like almost every day. So I just didn't even bother. I did try it though, and I was proud of myself. Like, I grew mushrooms and they looked really nice and they were super fresh. But I get it fresh anyway because I get it from some mushroom growers in just near Abri. So I'm still getting super fresh mushrooms. Like, I just got mushrooms yesterday. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat this. And mushrooms hold a lot of water, so you don't even really want to wash them unless it's like really dirty. And also, I don't really mind not washing it anyway because, like I said, I'm getting it so fresh directly from the farmers. Like, literally the day I pick it up is the day that they cut it from the bags. So, but only unless like I see stuff on there, like there might be some little ants or something in the little gills, but otherwise they're pretty clean. So you don't really want to wash them per se, or at least I don't wash them, just because they're already full of moisture, full of water, and sometimes I'm not trying to introduce more water. And after the mushrooms go in here, then I'm going to put some of the greens and the puree that we did here. Don't like that piece. So the pot is over here smelling delicious. All kinds of temptation going on in here. Meatless temptation. Let me wash this one. A lot of noise. So for me, I consider soup like clean out the fridge type of meal. I just put everything in there. You don't have to put all these ingredients that you saw me put in here. Just whatever you have in the fridge or whatever you picked up from the supermarket or market or whatever. It's literally just clean out the fridge opportunity to me. So I just dump everything in the pot. And yeah, I really love soup. Like, I love soup. Which our soups in Jamaica are a little bit different from Ghanaian soups. Or I guess, because our soups are full of all this food that you're seeing, right? Whereas like I think Ghanaian soups are more watery, more water-based. And then you eat the food outside of the soup. So like banku, fufu, kenke, all of those things, you would eat outside of the soup. Whereas like we put everything in the pot. So everything takes on all the flavor of the pot. And I love it that way. Even when I don't do the banku and kenke and all of those, except actually, so my mushroom farmers, they're actually getting me to be pretty adventurous. They're not even Ghanaian though. But I had, what did we have yesterday? Akpele. And yeah, I'm getting a little bit more acclimated to the Ghanaian dishes. So last week, my friends were making kenke. Kenke was the one thing where I was like, oh, I'm never going to eat that one. Because I remember one time I smelled kenke on the road and I was like, nope. But I realized kenke is basically cheese. Like that, like fermented taste. So now I'm going to start experimenting with kenke as my cheese. I need a little bit more water in here. Okay, so everything is pretty much cooked now. So now I can add water. Plenty. And how's the time? 6:40? Okay, thank you. That's good to know. Last bit of mushroom. Okay, mushrooms are done. Now let's get this puree in. And you don't want to lose all that flavor. All that in there is flavor. So this is what you do. I hate when people like don't rinse out the containers with water because I'm like, that tastes good. We're cooking live. So get all that in there. You want to get in the pot? Look at this pot action. That's a happy pot right there. So see, the coconut and the cashews give it this like really rich creaminess. Like, I know y'all excited to eat. All right, and then once the greens go in, I'm basically just gonna turn off the stove because I don't like to cook my greens for long, except the bitter leaf. I'll put that one in now just because it is pretty potent. So your bitter greens are like your most nutritious and most healing greens, right? Because this is what I said to myself the other day. When it's bitter, nothing wants it. The pests don't want it. The humans don't want it. Like neem, for example, is like the most bitter thing I've ever tasted. And it's so abundant here in Ghana. And neem is like super powerful for health. This looks so great. But yeah, like it's great for malaria. It's great for various infections, even fighting cancer. So your bitter greens are your best greens for you. It's just they're intense in flavor. So I just put a couple of the leaves in here, and the bitterer, the better. So I like to just cook with it to kind of like tone down the bitter effects. But you can have it as like tea or form. But I find that when you put it in the food, you're getting all the nutrients in the water that you would have like if you were to make tea or something. But I also don't really like you're also changing the enzymes when you cook it. So it may not be as potent as if you were to just pick it from a tree and eat it. But if you've ever picked a neem leaf and ate it from a tree, you would understand why I don't do that often. The neem flavor lasts in your mouth for like 15 minutes. I'm just going in with some scallion. Okay. The soup is basically done. I'm just throwing in last minute things in there. And then I'll taste for salt to adjust. So my various greens here, I have spinach, which I'll just break this up by hand because spinach wilts pretty easily. It's basically a green pot. And then these are the various greens that I told you about before. So the comfrey, the parsley, the celery, the eggplant greens, and there might be something else in there that I don't remember. Comfrey is great for bruises, sprains, breaks. So if like you broke your leg, twisted your ankle, sprained your ankle, anything like that, comfrey is a great herb to use. There might even be some in the shop. So you can use it as like a poultice. So you can just like mash the leaf in like a mortar and pestle type of thing, and then put it on your skin, and then wrap it with a bandage to keep the leaf on your skin. And you see my pot of greens? And I'm going to put a little bit of the jerk seasoning in here too, just because why not? Take it up a couple notches. So if you're sick, this is your medicine right here. And it's also delicious. So I'm all about making your medicine taste good, because you don't want to like have medicine that doesn't taste good, right? Like we don't want to eat bitter food, but if it tastes good, then you're more inclined to eat it. And we need to be more proactive and operating on the offense when it comes to our health instead of operating on the defense. Like you don't want to wait until you're diagnosed with things and things are going wrong and then you start eating healthy. Or start incorporating more of these greens. Like the more you do it before things go wrong, the less likely it is for things to go wrong. So yeah, this is our pot now. Now it's looking the way I wanted it to. And yeah, I'm not trying to like cook the greens. I just want them warm. So it's basically time to turn off. Just getting a little bubble action. I have a little bit of herbs here, just the parsley and the celery that I'll just chop these up and throw in there. Oh, a little bit of spinach was at the bottom. And oh, there's also a little bit of mint in here. So these are just like last minute touches. Fennel is really good. Do you smell the fennel? Fennel is really, hello. Fennel is really good with pumpkin. But I didn't have much, just a little tiny bit. And then the moringa here. Oh, I have another piece of fennel. The moringa leaves here. And you guys know the health benefits of moringa. Moringa is basically a superfood. So I'm just going to add the last little bits of that in there. You can sit. Let's do it that way. Get everything in there. So let me put some of the tomatoes. Okay, let me turn this off and toss in. Wait, first let me put the jerk. Where is it? This is my jerk seasoning. Just gonna put a little bit in there just for that like pimento flavor, because I really love that pimento flavor, and it'll give you like this authentic Jamaican flavor. And you smell it. That jerk is strong, huh? Okay, now let me put these herbs in here. And then I'll just check for salt. I know it's gonna need more salt because I didn't put much in the beginning, but I like to salt at the end. I think I told you guys that last time, because then I end up using much less, because all the flavor comes from these things, the herbs, the seasonings, aka vegetables. Okay. So I salt after I do all of that stuff. If you're sick, you might want to stop by and get a bowl of this. My mushroom farmer just recently got diagnosed with malaria yesterday, so we made a big pot of stew that was full of all these greens, and it was working my system. So this stuff will it'll get you to the bathroom.
They'll stop malaria.
It will, but it also gets you to the bathroom. I didn't have malaria, so I'm not worried about malaria, but for the bathroom, I could use that. But yeah, just preventative measures. So I don't plan on getting malaria because I try to do as many preventative measures as I can. Actually, in Abri, we don't really have so much neem up there, but when I was living on Dodoa side, I would just randomly eat some neem leaves every now and then, just pick it from a tree. And okay, that looks great. Let me just taste for salt. It's hot. Definitely needs more salt. Ooh, I feel the fennel coming through. Fennel is like this herb that to me it just like, it pops. You don't really like get it necessarily in every bite, but it'll just like pop sometimes. And when it like pops, I'm like, ooh, yes, fennel. So let's see how that salt is.
Is this your Jamaican coming out of this pot?
Dr. Sharita, I know you want some of this soup. We might have to save you a bowl or something. So yeah, you can come down to New Earth. They have a lot of additional health products that will help you stay on the preventative course as opposed to the defensive. But yeah, that's the purpose of this health shop here, because nature is our medicine, and it's much cheaper than doctor bills. So, all right, let me taste again. I'm just checking the salt, and once the salt is okay, then we can eat it. That is really good. Okay, you guys ready for some bowls? How many do we have? 3, 4? Ajwa, you'll have to ask them for a spoon. No, that's yours. Oh, I see what you're saying. You can do that too if you want. You want to try? You're invited. You can ask Kwabena for a spoon. Do the children want to try? I can do one bowl for the two of them. Okay. It's okay for spicy with them. It's not super spicy, but it does have a little bit of some heat. Here you go. You can ask your dad for a spoon. You'll share with your brother, okay? Papana, do you want to try? You want to try? You want to try too? I'll leave yours here, okay? You can take it when you're ready. Let me put some for myself.
So Shannon, I've never really heard of cashews going into soup. What's that about?
That's just Shannon.
Huh?
That's just Shannon. And actually, I never used to like nuts at all. But once changing my diet to plant-based and things just kind of always having like nuts inside of them, just experimenting more with it. And so my cashew cream, which is one of the items that I sell, is something that now it's like my new favorite item, and I just put it in everything. So like every time I'm making soups, I might add some of the cashew cream in there. If I don't have any coconut, so I like to use coconut, I'll just blend the coconut meats. But if I don't have any coconut, I might just use cashews or combine the two. But I just think it gives it like some body, and it kind of gives a sweet, kind of creamy flavor. So yeah, it's not typically in Jamaican soups, but like I said, it's not typical Jamaican soup.
Okay, so we're getting this right out of the pot, but I can imagine if you left this overnight, all the taste would
infuse more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Infuse it, you can bring it out a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys try it? Did you taste it yet? So even though the greens are in there, and I think people are often intimidated by greens, do you get like a lot of green flavor, Ajwa? Like, is it dominating the soup?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying, that maybe it would dominate it once it sits overnight. Once it sits overnight and kind of brings all the flavors together, you know.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
You are good. The spinach adds a like a thicker texture, because the local spinach here in Ghana, it has a kind of slimy effect like okra, and so it like makes the soup also thicker. So that's why I like throwing that in there too. And I didn't use much water, not even 2 of these bags, and one is 500 ml, so maybe like 800 milliliters of water. I should have put some more in here to wash out that stuff, but Hmm. So good. So yeah, that's your healing soup. Um, and it's got a little bit of kick, right? A little heat in there, which I always think is nice. Frederick, you can come and try it. Because I don't know where Kwabena is. Let's get your feedback. Ask Kwabena for a spoon. I only have the one I'm using. So the roots in here, like this is the yam, being in the soup takes on the flavor of the soup. So it's not just bland, boring yam. The carrots, they add a little bit of sweetness. So you can have like sweet flavor without adding sugar to anything.
Kind of glad you didn't put any pasta.
I thought about it, but I try to stay away from wheat just because I'm trying to talk, but the soup is preventing me. I try not to do so much wheat just because.
Huh?
You want me to use the mic?
I don't know. He's saying that he wants us to snack.
Should I use the mic? Yeah, I try not to do so much wheat just because, like I said, my eczema flares up from time to time. And I haven't necessarily pinpoint exactly what it is that does it every single time, but I do think that, I think all of us have like a degree of wheat intolerance, just because it's this hybridized version of wheat that we're consuming nowadays. But my body being very sensitive, I think it has even more of a reaction and it's my weakness. So I can easily give up meat, but to give up bread, that's my struggle. So yeah, I didn't want to put any pasta in there just because I just figure stay away from wheat as much as possible. But I'm going to start making my own pasta. I have a pasta machine. So I'll be using the various flours that they have here. So the millet flour, cassava flour, even plantain flour. And I use other grains as well. So like I'll use spelt and I'll use einkorn to minimize my wheat consumption. And since everything is grown under better conditions here in Ghana, like even corn, I'll start incorporating. Because in America I was not eating corn because it's all GMO'd. But
what are these little ones back there?
That's mustard seed.
Oh, it's mustard.
So here, you can take that back because I want to eat more soup. How is it? Can you share some feedback? Meanwhile, I get more. Who wants more? Do you guys need more? Okay, come. You can come. Bring your bowl. Bring your bowl. So what did you think of it?
Yeah, it's very nice, and I wish I could see how you started it. Was it a cashew nut paste? Was it a cashew nut paste or is it a normal groundnut paste?
There's no ground nuts.
Oh, okay.
I just use a little bit of cashew.
Okay.
But that's not really the base of the soup though. That was just to make it like creamier at the end.
So can you use it to take either rice, yam, or anything else?
Yep, exactly.
It's very yummy. And
Oh,
nice.
good.
And
I'm
it's
glad
rich
you
in-
like it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you need more, Ajwa? Is your bowl empty?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna have as many bowls as possible. You got me making my bowl before yours. Okay. This is dinner, right? This one over here. Oh, this one over here. Do you want some more? Oh, none of it is getting thrown away. You're welcome. Did you guys try it yet? Hmm? Oh, you can use your dad's spoon. Did he get a spoon? Governor is holding the spoons hostage. And it's really, what's the word? Filling. Okay. So thank you for tuning in today. And you can find me on Instagram at plantkingdom.co. So that's PLANTKINGDOM.co.